welcome, my friends, to another episode of On the Capo podcast. I am your host, and alongside yours truly, as in every week, our good friend Ahmed. How you doing, Ahmed?
I'm struggling, man. It's Monday. It's been a long weekend,
Tell me
and
about it, my friend. Tell me about it. And, no Orlando City action, but there are plenty of stuff going on. Our friend John has a little bit of a family situation that he's resolving, and he may be joining us later on to give us his thoughts. As you guys know, it was a bye week for Orlando City. Uh, if you don't know, I recorded. A mid-season review with our good friend Taylor Williams from Orlando City, UK, where he gives us his opinions on what everything that's going on. It was an interesting conversation, one in which my input was very little, to be honest. I just let him roll, and it was an interesting conversation. You can watch or listen as always on YouTube at Davis Channel 76, or you can listen to it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts at On the Capo podcast. With that, we want to remind everybody that we are live on YouTube at Davis Channel 76. We can be found live on the internet. We're on Instagram. We're live on X at the moment. We're live on Facebook at the moment. We're live on Twitch. We're on TikTok. We're on Threads. We're on Blue Sky as at On the Capo podcast. So give us a thumbs up, a subscription. That helps us out to get the word out there. This past weekend, the club had a event for season ticket holders to basically watch a practice, get some signatures. I had tickets, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I was a little disappointed with the fact that only 4 players were gonna be available. Of course, did not turn out to be that way. A lot of people had the ability to get signatures. Ahmed was there. Sort of regretted after the fact listening to everybody, but I heard that it was hot.
yeah, man, it was.
So go
It
ahead and
was.
tell us, brother.
It was. I was out late the night before, and then when I heard about the players, I was second guessing myself. Also, I woke up at 7 o'clock. Luckily for me, it's just around the corner. It's about 20 minutes from my house, so
Oh, good.
I rolled out of bed, grabbed my son, and we headed out there. I actually have some pictures I could share on the screen here. Let me. Um, and it was great, man. It was 83 degrees before we walked into the stadium at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock in the
was
morning.
it
Wow.
was crazy hot. They did a scrimmage, which was nice. They did a scrimmage with OCB, and Jacqueline had, I know he had at least a hat trick, if not 4 goals.
Wow.
Yeah. So honestly, watching the guys, and I'm just gonna go through some of the pictures while we're talking, but it was a really nice crowd. Watching the guys play, it was reassuring, believe it or not.
And for
Right?
those in audio, I'm sorry to interrupt you, man. For those in audio, we're gonna make these pictures available on our social media, if it's
Yeah.
okay with you, man, so
Yeah,
that you guys
absolutely.
can take a look
Yeah.
at it. But yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a great turnout. The guys looked good. Um, there were some moments when they were struggling. It's a scrimmage. We could sit here and talk about it all day. It was nice to see the guys playing and playing well, playing as a team. And, I don't want to go down that route, but my son was like, why can't they play like that during the games? So I said to him, I'm like, what do you think the difference is? You know what I mean? I'm like, because you watch professional athletes all the time. They perform well. And then even like the let's not even say soccer, like the Olympics, you watch ice skaters. They do their the numbers where they get scored on, and they're falling all over the place. 5 minutes later, same routine, they nail everything. It's the pressure. It's the pressure, and that's why I say it's something going on with the team in general.
No,
You know what I mean? As
absolutely.
a whole.
I heard, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that Muriel did not look very good. I heard that Ramiro Enrique was everywhere, super
Yes.
aggressive, like a man that has something to prove.
Yeah.
Uh,
You know what it was? It was, in that case, you saw some of the deficiencies we talk about, right? Like Muriel had a couple of opportunities, and rather than shooting, as we've seen in the games, what does he do? He takes an extra touch or
oh
two,
wow.
like stuff like that. But yeah, it was a great day though. And then at the end, like you said, there was a bunch more signatures than we expected. They had the one tent where you had Mason, Jacqueline, Felipe, and
Right.
I'm sorry.
No, no, no. I was agreeing with you on the players that.
Yeah. And then here, my son got pictures with Yari Sukada, and then they came around signing stuff. So
Who's that? Because I can see the face.
this one is Ojeda.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
good, good,
And then Angulo came by,
great.
uh, Lodero,
Rodero.
Thor.
This is I've been dying to get my trade card signed by this man,
Yeah, he signed my son's cards.
Pedro
And
Sant. Oh, no kidding! You come on, you
yeah,
gotta rub it in.
yeah, man. So
Sick. All
yeah,
right.
it was great. And you know the nice part? We always talk about it. It's like they stayed, they hung out, they did that. They were probably
Oh,
there
that's
for a
awesome.
good at least 45 minutes signing. Like they
Some
weren't going
people,
anywhere.
some people were saying that it was a good day for the club, for the players and for the fans themselves. Will you agree
Yeah.
on that?
Absolutely. I think so. And I think it's probably overdue, especially the way things are going this season. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I mean, you can argue it however you want, but it's nice to connect with the fans like that.
Yeah,
Especially when you're struggling. It's a reminder of why you do what you do, why they do what they do. It's nice to get to that level of connection with them, I think.
oh, that's fantastic, bro.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to hear that. So yeah, it's good on the club. I would like to take a credit on that. We've been saying it, a bird, a purple bird, told me this week that there's people in the front office listening to what the podcast have to say. And that person told me continue to be authentic, because it's what the club needs to hear. They don't need the
Yeah.
propaganda. They don't need mouthpieces that just repeat what communications wants you to say. So
Yeah.
again, we're gonna be respectful of the individuals that wear our colors. Never attack anybody. I know that some people on the social media have done that, and all we have to say is our work speaks for itself. Is recorded, and we stand by it. Myself, John, and Amen, and we want to see our club win. And if you think it's just me, listen to Taylor's interview, and he will tell you himself that things are not great. They need to get better, and expressing your emotions and your feelings does not mean that you hate the club and that you take away. So just wanted to make that clear that I know some people uh, are subtweeting about my person, and I'm sorry, I'm not going anywhere. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I'm sorry to disappoint you. This past week, there was a lot of lion action abroad, and obviously, I didn't get to watch everything, but the little that I saw, was very good. I watch the Puerto Rico national team, and I have to always do this explanation. U.S. territories have national teams. Okay, it's just like the UK, the Channel Islands, Gibraltar, Isle of Man, British Virgin Islands. They have their own national teams. Same situation here. Don't get mad at me. That's Olympic Committee decision that FIFA, FIBA, and all these other organizations that represent different sports abide by. So basically, when the United States plays the territories, all the members on the pitch are citizens of the same country. That's basically what it is. That's basically what it is. So Puerto Rico had Wilfredo Rivera 85 minutes against El Salvador on a historic night for Puerto Rico. It's the first time that it was a nil-nil result, but Wilfredo Rivera had a good scoring opportunity that unfortunately went away. The ref let El Salvador beat them like an old rug. In fact, the captain O'Neill almost loses his leg. I mean, I thought that poor guy almost had a broken knee in half. It was horrendous. Yeah, Orlando, three Orlando Lions were there. Of course, Wilfredo Rivera, who's with OCB, Orlando City Academy product. Beto Idrach was there as well, former UCF, now with Akron University, and Ian Silva, who uh, played for OCB at one point for the academy, and now is with Gonzaga University. And Beto was in an interview with his cousin Vicente Hidrach, or better known as Chente. He has if you know if you speak Spanish, you know who this person is. This guy has a YouTube channel with over 1 million subscribers, very well known in the Spanish speaking world. And they brought Beto with other players from the national team, and he talked a little bit about his experience with the Orlando City Academy, and he put our name out there. He was born and raised in Orlando, so good on the kid. Um, Torres and Angulo, unfortunately, are out of the Copa America roster for Uruguay. And there was a message from Luis Suarez to Facundo Torres, so you can put that there.
Yep.
And, I know unfortunate. Torres came in as a sub. Araujo basically, had 2 minutes out on the pitch on his debut with the national team. This is something that they should be very proud of. A great achievement for both of them. But at the end of the day, my friends, the fact of the matter is that their performance in club football was a decisive factor here. I don't say it. Uruguayan outlets said it, and as you know, in South America, man, they're not like here. They're quote unquote professionals. They talk the way we talk. And so imagine if the wet blanket club members, because they have graduated, they're not happy clappers. Those are sane people. The wet blanket club members, which are a different level of delusion and craziness, in South America, they probably will be throwing themselves out of skyscrapers because they couldn't take it. So they call it as it is. And I mean, if you could expand the that, so I can translate it.
Yeah.
This is from Luis Suarez, an accomplished Uruguayan player in Europe, and now with the opposition in Inter Miami. But that doesn't take away from him. He says, "What should I tell you, my friend? You're in a crack. You're like the bee's knees, basically, inside and out. I already told you everything that I think of you. I send you a big hug and continue as always with a positive mind." And that's it. Listen, that's when somebody that, listen, is in a pedestal that doesn't need to come down and say anything to this kid, comes down and says something like that, speaks volumes. Oh, Luis Suarez, Luis Suarez, like I said, I don't have anything against the guy. When he's wearing pink, yeah, baby, I'm gonna tell you everything I think of you and your mother. But outside of it, an admirable player, consummate professional. So that he thinks that much of Facundo. I hope that Facundo can use that as a fire moving forward in the second half of the season. What will you have to add to that, Ahmed? Because I think Facu needed to hear that
Yeah.
from people that obviously he admired, whose posters probably were in his room when he was a kid. And I think all of us want Facundo to do better.
Yeah. I think what Suarez said was right on, and I hope, when you're young
Hmm.
and you're early in your career, it's easier to let things like that get to you, and I think it's important for him to just let it go, brush it off, but use it as a learning opportunity and understand, you're
Absolutely.
in this situation for a reason. So hopefully this will be the fire, maybe even not so much Suarez's message, but this situation should be like, well, damn, what do I need to do to get myself back on track, so to speak?
Absolutely, my friend. And we have Fabian Loyola with the U20s for Chile. His father's Chilean, therefore he is representing Chile, and scored his first goal with the national team. against Australia. So we want to tell Fabian, congratulations. Fabian is another good kid, man.
Yeah, man.
Up and coming. We have a lot of youth in OCB that one day is going to represent us in the first team. So we want to say that on the OCB minute, real quick, and please excuse, we're just basically some housekeeping here. Orlando City tied 1-1 with Carolina Core. No, I'm sorry. It was 2-2. My apologies. Coming from behind, La Remontada, what you guys love. And, came back 2-2 and took the extra point in the shootout. For those that don't know, tie games in MLS Next Pro go to round of PKs, sort of like what you see in hockey, basically. And you earn an extra point, and definitely Orlando City needs those. Next Sunday, I'll be recording with our friend Dan Barrich from the English Lion, sort of like a bookend situation. Dan couldn't meet us, Taylor and I, Sunday because he had he was traveling from Ireland, and something happened on the way back, and the guy was got home way too late to be with us. And so yeah, I think it was going to be a great book end to the week. His Taylor's perspective, Dan's perspective, and of course before and after the LAFC game. And last, the Puerto Rico is playing against Anguilla tomorrow. And if you want to see some OCB talent, what are they doing out in the world when they're not wearing purple? I think it should be interesting. And on that, I was part of a watch party, Ahmed, for the Puerto Rico game against El Salvador, and there was people there that were fans of other MLS teams. It's fine by me. But this guy was like, "Oh man, I don't know why you're a fan of that team, blah blah blah," and just talking mad trash. And then because I, I don't need to go there. Winning internet arguments and winning arguments that pays nothing. I said, listen, man, I have lived to see my team lift a trophy, and that's it. But deep in my heart, that's the opinion that a lot of people have of us. It's just a team that it's bland. It's like vanilla ice cream, and that sort of ticked me off, because if that's the opinion that people have of us, then you know what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let the guy get away with this. Like, somebody insulted my kids. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? We're gonna fight. We got some comments, Ahmed, if you don't mind
Yep.
reading
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, we have Misael Rosa with us. He goes on to say, watching the Wrexham show, when they were on a losing streak, one of the owners, of course, the famous owners, went out on the town to do some damage control. I feel like this was a bit of that. I'm assuming he's talking about the open practice. Very
Yes,
true.
yes, indeed. And
Yeah.
the second comment.
Yeah, he says, I'm Puerto Rican too. We have two teams, PR and USMNT.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And listen, it's no secret that in any sport, when people end up representing Puerto Rico, is because they didn't make the cut with the U.S. team. It's facts. That's gonna bother a lot of people. But I don't hide away from the controversy. And by the way, Misala, I'm glad that I saw you on Twitter defending our honor. And I have to thank you
Yeah.
on that, against a person whose name shall not be mentioned, but that was talking a lot of trash about podcasters. And Misael, just basically challenged that notion. So thank you, my brother. I know you're very active in the internets, and I appreciate that. And Misael touches the Wrexham show is something that we talked about, uh, Taylor and I. If just to give you a little preview of what you're gonna hear in that conversation. Um, Taylor is from Stevenage, and this past season he no longer lives there. By the way, he lives a pretty considerable distance away. After he got married, he basically lives where in the area where his wife is from, over there near Birmingham. And he's been to 3 games for Stevenage, and so we're familiar to what happens in lower English leagues when the team wins, when there's an opportunity to do better, and the Wrexham show highlights exactly that. Why? And the manager that promoted them from National League and League Two in the show. If you've been watching the show, people were like, "We need a new manager. We need to fire this guy." Same
Yeah.
situation. So it's just human nature, really, because like Taylor said, when things go bad, unfortunately, or unjustifiably, the manager is the guy that pays the broken glass. Um, so, I mean, anything to add to that, I mean, because obviously, after that political spectrum lineup or whatever, a lot of people are asking where we stand with the situation, and I was just being clear. Where would the badge, where would the collars? Because
Yeah.
managers, players, and staff come and go, the supporter always remains. So
Yeah.
that's what we root for. Go ahead,
Yeah,
brother.
I was surprised when I saw that actually, because I was surprised of where we were, because I really do think that, I mean, we are critical of the club, right? But
Hmm.
honestly, I don't think we are extreme to one side or the other.
Yeah,
We have our opinions, but as a podcast, we just want the club to do better, right? So if you're interpreting that as, I can say that the same thing and three people interpret it. It's like text messages, right? You can interpret it very differently based on how you're feeling at the time.
correct.
The same sentence, three people can take it three different ways. And I feel like that's what happens a lot of times.
And now that you
Um,
mentioned that, my friend, let's talk about some football that happened over the weekend.
yes.
United States had a friendly
Yeah.
against Colombia, a nation that breathes the footballs. And, I'm sorry, 5-0 with a team of players that play in Europe. Oh, 5-1. Sorry, I even
Yeah.
forgot that we scored. This is the first time that you have a team 100% European. And so now we can say it was MLS, it was the quality of the MLS, blah, blah, blah. Because, I mean, Colombia came in with a team that was mostly Colombian League. So if you're telling me that the Colombian League is better than MLS, then we got problems, right? Then we got problems. Uh, but no MLS players, and my friends, it was a humiliation, but also was a reminder that Greg Berhalter needs to go. This is a guy that is there simply because of nepotism. I mean, I'm sorry, your brother was works for U.S. Soccer. His brother, if he would have had an ounce of ethics and self-respect and transparency, he would have probably taken himself out of the whole process of hiring. And you know, I'm sorry, you lost at home, 5-1, man. With arguably one of the best players in CONCACAF, with Pulisic, and the Colombians came in, mopped the floor with you, and you could say, "Oh well, the Canadians and the Mexicans." You know what? Not my concern. I don't live in those countries. I don't hold nationality in those countries. I don't hold a passport from those countries. I don't care what they do. I care what the Americans do, and this is a reversal. It's a reversal of what's happening, and also prove one thing, that if we're gonna get good, we can't continue to play friendlies and tournaments in CONCACAF without expanding our wings and perhaps trying our luck in other continents. Being a big proponent that there's only one American continent, by the way. There's only one. There's not two. That's an invention of the 1890s by American cartographers. So only one American continent, and I believe the American continent needs to be represented by one confederation, but CONMEBOL is not gonna let the racket. Brazil, Uruguay, and Argentina
Not.
are typed in on the sheet, and they're not gonna risk having to play more games at a longer distance for to make it to the World Cup. But
Yeah.
that's my opinion. I think this Copa America is going to tell us that the emperor has no clothes, to remind ourselves of that child story. Anything to add to that, my friend?
Yeah. You know, with national teams, it's different. If you follow them, right? They don't practice together like a club,
Correct.
like all the time. So games like this, I feel like should be a wake up call because in what less than 2 years we have a World Cup coming up. You
Yep.
know,
2026.
and before you know it, that'll be here as a team. So there needs to be, it's like having a big ship and you need to adjust the course. You can't wait last minute. You need to start course correcting ahead of time. So because there's another friendly, isn't there, next week or later this week?
Wednesday
Wait,
against Brazil in
yeah,
Orlando at
yeah,
campus at Camping
Camping
World
World. Yeah,
Stadium. I won't be able to go. It just happens on a Jewish holiday.
yeah.
So there you go.
But
I gotta
cool.
go holla the moon. But and also I wasn't gonna be paying $70 a ticket. So sorry for that. And a friendly, and after what we saw against Colombia,
Hmm.
Brazil is
That's what I'm
really,
saying. Yeah.
it's, oh my god. And it's or I mean, you already know this is gonna be a home game for Brazil,
Oh yeah, absolutely, hands down.
without a doubt. I'm
Hands
telling you right now, all roads lead to downtown Orlando from South Florida, from Tampa, all over or Metro Orlando, Jacksonville, all the way from Georgia. All the Brazilians are gonna be flying in. People are gonna be coming from the Bahamas. I'm telling you, it's gonna be insane. There's gonna be and people are here on vacation
hmm
already pairing I'm telling you, it's gonna be a sea of yellow and green and blue instead of red, white, and blue. And I know a lot of the regular talking heads like Alexi Lalas. They're like, "Oh yeah, but no substance." I'm sorry. You've been drumming what MLS tells you to do and say, and USF, and now you can't become Mr. Whistleblower. I'm sorry. Lalas, you just go with the wind, go with yesterday's garbage. You are MLS 1.0 dude, and I'm sorry. For many, you've been gaslighting us for a long time, and now you can't become the hero that we need. I mean, you've been a Sith, can become a Jedi already. So
hmm
uh, that is that. So yeah, my friends. Hopefully, many of you will be supporting our national team. I certainly will be watching the highlights. There's a video of former Lion Luis Nani, and I would love for you to play it
Yes.
uh,
Let me get it.
because before that, warning: if you're a woman, please sit down because this is gonna be too much for you to take at once. And if you're a man, strap yourself to the chair because you may want to go and fight a war by yourself. Let's go
Here we
ahead.
go.
And a dime sack. Where the paper at? When he's sticking you and taking all your money. Give me the loot. Give me the loot. I'm a bad boy. Give me the loot. Give me the loot. I'm a bad boy. Give me the loot. Give me the loot. I'm a bad boy. Give me the loot. Give me the loot.
Wow. Luis Nani, ladies and gentlemen, punking Sasha Creston and then having the audacity of asking for a handshake. Wow, this man is just pure adrenaline. I met before the show when we were discussing this. I said, if Orlando City knows good value, you pick up the phone. You still know his number. You call Nani and you say, for 200K, will you come in to be a super sub? I'm telling you guys, the man still has it. The man still, he doesn't have a club right now. Well, he's gonna say no. Just hey, my guy, you left Orlando with people wanting more. Will you come back and see what happens? I mean, can do worse than Pato. Pato basically did nothing here, and we had him for 2 years on a cheap deal. So let's talk to his agent, see what he says. I believe he still has a house here. All right, I don't know if he sold it. He had a house in Claremont, Nani. So I don't know. I don't think you have to twist their arm too much to make sure they come back. We got some comments, Ahmed.
Yeah, absolutely. Misael Rosa said Sasha and Nani went at it. Absolutely. He gives us a salute for the other comment about the Twitter. And then JR Dub says they're losing in the final right now, 3-0.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
disappointing. Thank you, John.
Yeah. And then Misael says Sasha had a clean tackle that Nani took kind of personal. That's why he was in his face at the end.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, not have you seen that man? That man is more shredded than cheese. My God. The guy's 38. Nani will be 38 in November. And he's a specimen. I mean, that guy can wash his clothing on his abs, like the washboard. Many of you probably are too young for that, but I remember my grandmother washing on the washboard with lava soap. So, Nani can do that. Nani can wash his own shirt. I mean, but I will definitely say that I will take the captain back. All right, like you guys know, there's not much to talk about, but we are going to round it up with the game against LAFC coming up this Saturday, 7:30, 6:55 West Church Street is the place to be if you're an Orlando City Lion and you want to catch live football in Orlando and have a good time. Regardless of the result, I always have a good time. So this is who is going to be matching that night. Orlando City 4-7-5 on their season. Only 6 points at home and 1 win. That's basically our record. And LAFC comes flying high. 9 wins, 4 losses, 3 draws. We're history with this. The last time we matched with them was I believe it was here in Orlando, if I'm not mistaken, and it was a 4-2 defeat by Orlando. Orlando has 0 wins against LAFC, 1 draw, and LAFC has 2 wins in their history. Obviously, different conferences. There was the pandemic prevented us from traveling to California, so we haven't seen a lot of these guys, but we eliminated them, the favorites out of MLS is back in 2020, and there's been bad beef between that fan base and ours since. They definitely had the best of us, but and I see that we're good friend John. John, do you need to be let in? Just thumbs up if you need to be let in. Okay, thank you, my friend. You got him?
Yep.
What's up, guys?
What's happening, John? Good to have you back, my friend. So you're coming at the right time. We're about to start talking about LAFC. Expectations for LAFC this Saturday.
Expectations or hopes?
Prayers, if you will.
Hopes and dreams.
Yeah. I mean, LAFC's been playing pretty good. They've been coming in form more recently. And, Orlando's been doing what we've been doing this year. So I honestly am just hoping for a draw on Saturday. I'm hoping for it to be a good match. I mean, our only hope is if we can score. If Duncan's into form, if he's playing, coming back, and if our defensive line's able to hold up, because I believe we may be without Pedro and Cartagena because they're in the Copa rosters for Peru. So it'll be an interesting match. My expectations is for us to win. I mean, that's always the expectation,
Mhm. No,
especially match.
question: when is Duncan leaving us for the Olympics? I haven't kept up with that. I don't know.
Late July, mid August, something like that.
Okay, so that time of the year. That's
So whenever the opening ceremony is, subtract about a week to 2 weeks, depending on when, because usually the soccer tournament for the Olympics starts like a week to a couple days before the opening ceremony start. So he'll be obviously called in before that, and then getting over there and getting acclimated and everything to the time change.
okay. Fair enough. I mean, absolutely, that makes all the sense in the world. Ahmed, anything about our rival on Saturday? That is
You
coming
know,
red hot, by the way.
yeah, it's tough, man. I don't know. The people are talking about we have the bye week and that's good for us. I'm actually more nervous because of that. I really am. Having that break, I don't know that that works in our favor. Like when you think of the last games that we think we played a good game, like let's say the game against Miami, how we came out strong, that was the third game within like a week, so a week's time. So being off to me isn't necessarily a good thing. So I'm a bit nervous about that.
Mm-hmm.
My only hope is this has been a chance for them to recollect their mindset and shift mindsets, because really I feel like that's a big part of it. The last few games, um, you just see frustrated players for valid reason. But I mean, it's been a while since we won a game. It was in
Absolutely.
April. It was in April against I just had it up here and I lost it. Against San Jose. That was the last game we won.
And just so you know, guys, um we have uh we have LAFC Saturday. Then on Wednesday we go out up to Charlotte. We come back home that following Saturday against Chicago. I think that I believe we left them off the hook when we visited them. Then Friday, the 28th, we go up to the Bronx to face New York City.
Mhm.
And after years of being lucky enough to have the 4th of July game at home, we actually are going to be in Canada visiting Toronto. So disappointing, but we had, I think, like 4 years in a row that we had the game. And it was a great opportunity because people are off and people are in a good mood. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So unfortunately, not this year. But yeah, it's a very complicated schedule that is coming up for us. And LAFC is not the team to make the comeback. Um, I will have to say we can get a point out of this game Saturday. We should consider ourselves lucky. I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
agree with me on that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think if we get a point, we should be happy. I just want to see us play for 3. I want to see us playing like I want to walk out feeling like they tried to win, not they
Hmm.
tried to draw, regardless of what the outcome is. And that's what's been missing for me. The last few
For
games,
sure.
it's just like, what are we doing?
Absolutely. We got a comment before John gives us his input.
Yep. Let me check it out here. It's Misael. Let's see. Misael says, luckily we face them before Giroud arrives next month.
Oh,
Yeah.
enough, brother.
Yeah.
Man, come on. Take it.
But if Duncan's
No.
sold, he'll be gone by then, correct? Oh, man.
Well, this is one of the questions that I asked Taylor. We were discussing this. The word on the street is that Blackburn's still interested in this young guy. It's up to Blackburn if they are going to invest the money. I mean, the sell price is 7 mil. Last time we checked, in my opinion, and I said it with Taylor, we sold Daryl DK for 10. And unfortunately, the guy has been like injured a lot. I mean, he has been a non-factor in the championship. So for us to sell Duncan at 7, I think we are giving him away, especially if we close the deal before the Olympics. Because if he goes to the Olympics and kills it, perhaps we have better suitors. I think Duncan wants to leave, and I can't blame him at all. I can't blame him at all. He has better opportunities. He already has tasted with the national team, and is not a secret. Look at what happened to Araujo and Torres. They got cut from the Copa America roster based on their club performance. And if this ain't it, Chief, right? What's happening in Orlando? As a player, you gotta look where it's your career is gonna be expanded. You know, and again, Duncan doesn't owe this club anything. This club has nothing to do with his development, nothing to do with his career. He was just a name we picked out of a hat. Not to be disrespectful, but that's how the draft is basically. And he came here and he surprised us because, mind you, the guy that we picked before Duncan in the draft is in OCB. It's how it is. So, John, you have anything else to add about the Duncan saga that doesn't seem to die?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, the team, if he does leave in the summer for Orlando City, it'll be something where he joins them in the winter, in January when that transfer window opens. Because I personally think if he's not signed by somebody before the Olympics, we'll have him through the into the season. Because basically the Olympics end and then the transfer window closes, I believe, on August
Right, mid-August.
30th, whatever. Well,
Mhm.
the league for MLS, it's mid-August, but for Europe, it's actually like it's the end of August, beginning of September.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, because that's when.
Depending on how deep the U.S. goes and everything, it'll basically be he just stays over there if he gets in Europe, whether it's wherever it is, or he comes back home. It won't be a situation of where he comes back and then has to fly back. I don't think that would happen that way, if that makes sense. I think he's either signed before, goes to the Olympics, and then stays over there, or he's not signed until January somewhere.
Okay, fair enough. All right, my friends. So we're gonna round it up. Obviously, not much to talk about, but we still wanted to do a show. We didn't want to lump the LAFC and all that. And besides those things that happen, football wise, all our Lions. We are I believe the third uh, team when it comes to in MLS. When it comes to how many players we sent to international duty. And I have to say that to me, it should be telling the amount of talent that we have here and a talent that has not reflected on our position on the table. So, food for thought on that. And, like I said, we're serious people. We love the club, and our opinions are what they are because we want our team to do well. I think my words are being echoed by the interview with Taylor. If you haven't catched it, that you're up for a treat. Taylor says the same things I say. It's just that with a British accent, sounds so smooth, so educated, so scholarly. That I could hear the guy read the phone book.
Well, brought
Go
up a
ahead, brother.
point about the number of international call-ups we had.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
I think it was actually tied for second most.
Second most. Okay. Good deal.
So that shows that our team now, one or two players is on it, does play for OCB, but that means our team has the quality that is seen by international coaches, whether it's somebody like Gillespie that's more of a legacy / heritage type of pick, or somebody like Facu. The one that I was surprised about was Cesar Araujo getting selected, getting the call. But that just shows that our players have the quality that these international teams are looking for, and these aren't slouches of international teams either. When you're talking about Uruguay and Peru, two 1A or 1B teams in the common era down there, yes. So I mean the quality's there. But we'll leave it up to the listeners to use their own deductions and figure out where the issue lies when the quality of the players there, but for some reason they can do it for their country or other teams, but they can't do it, when they come here, when they're playing for our club.
Saturday will say a lot. I know maybe some people will say, "Oh well, we had to bring a lot of OCB players, etc., etc." Winners win games, and losers make excuses. We're at home in 17 games. This is the 17th game of the season, midpoint, 50%. We have won one game at home, and we have won 4. And
Had last year with what we had by this point, I think we'll go a month before this. I think we had 3 or 4 wins at home.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. And we already match our loss total for last year. If you don't are not interested in listening to the interview with Taylor, all you gotta do is listen to what I had to say the first 2 minutes before we went into his thoughts. I read what our statistics are this year compared to last year, and my friends, is abysmal. It's abysmal. We have won one game. We have only 6 points at home. That's the 1 win and 3 draws. Everything else has been losses at home. And the 3 other victories that we have are 3 victories that we had on the road. So those are great, but you gotta win in front of the people that fill your stadium and buys your merch. So that is that. Ahmed, anything else to add? I think I see some comments there as well.
Yeah. We have a comment from Team Bedoya. Thanks for the live content. Man the wall. And then Johnny Ridner says, boys, just joined. Hope all is well. Yeah, man. I don't have more to add. I mean, we could beat a dead horse, but can we win this game? Yeah. We've done crazier things in the past. If this were last season, I'd be like, all right, our track record with them is not the greatest, but could we potentially do it? Yeah. The team that I've seen and the team that we've been seeing recently, I couldn't even tell you because we have not been consistent in how we've been performing, So I just hope for the best, man. I just hope
we've been consistently bad, so at least
but I just want a good performance from the team because then at least you'll feel like we're right tracking everything. We're heading
absolutely.
in the right
Absolutely.
It is what
So
it is.
I want to thank everybody that joined us tonight. All the comments, these are the guys are always there. I want to thank you for that. Again, Saturday we man the terraces again, and we're gonna cheer for our boys to bring home the 3 points. There's a reason why we're called fanatics, because regardless of what logic says, we are going to still think that we're gonna win, and win, lose or draw, we're gonna sweat that that purple clothing, and we're gonna leave voiceless and drain. And I want to remind everybody that we're gonna be recording with Dan next Sunday for his mid-season review, and Monday we'll be back again to talk about. Well, hopefully, will be a win. It's going to be a very busy week next week. I mean, we have back-to-back Saturdays at Interco Stadium. So, it's time to support the boys. It's going to be a hard one. So remember, always stay hydrated and, just easy with the sauce. Easy with the sauce because we want to be healthy. Before we go, I said it with Taylor, and I want to say it again. If you are having a hard time with what's going on, please reach out to a friend. Please reach out to clergy. Please reach out to family. There's a person whose name I will reserve that is having a difficult time, beloved by this fan base, and that I just want to once again reiterate what I said with Taylor. We love you. We care about you, and I know it's difficult sometimes to separate the results from our lives. We sort of go into the stadium and to Orlando City to escape our problems, and sometimes the club doesn't reciprocate like we want. But just guys, remember that we lose and we win and we tie as one. If I learned anything from our experience at the Hourglass Brewery, is that we are one people, we're one mass of humanity, and even the wet blanket members and even the happy clappers. When we win, we lift a trophy. When we score a goal, I will even hug you. I will hug you as we're shower with backwash beer all over ourselves. I still care about you because at the end of the day, it's about Orlando City. It's about the badge. It's about the colors. It's about the compromise that we have made. And besides, remember, when you buy your ticket, it's like buying a lottery ticket. You never box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. So hopefully we're gonna get a win. Guys, anything else before we say goodbye?
Nope, I'm good, man.
All right. Thank you, man. John, thank you for the effort, my brother. Appreciate you. And I gotta say it publicly, John and Ahmed are the reason why we have a show. Because they're good people. They do a lot behind closed doors, if you will. And they're the ones that keep me sane. And I said it with Taylor. If I was doing the show with two other people as fat crap crazy as I am, you wouldn't have a show. I thank God that these guys keep me in line, even when I want to fight you guys on social media. I know you're watching, my guy. I know you're watching. They say that the greatest compliment is when people copy you. So trust me, as my number one hater, I'm gonna give you overtime of overtime of top of overtime, because this year we're really gonna give you reasons to hate us. So with that said, my friends, we say goodbye the only way we know how, by reminding everybody that football is played on grass, not on paper. That football is cruel and unpredictable. That football is a panel talent and an ounce of luck. And if you haven't cried for joy or anger over football, have you real football? For myself, Ahmed, John, may God bless you. And as always, let's say it together. Vamos,
Vamos,
Orlando!